I'm curious, coming here to a new team, first camp, I know you've been here for a few months, but for first training camp here, what has that done for you and your game, do you think?
My goal every day is to come out here and just get better, take all the coaching and just own my job.
Do you feel rejuvenated at all? Do you feel like, there's something more that you can show because new team, new energy?
Yeah,
everything?
I still got a lot in the tank. Like I just said, I just go out here and get better every day. Whatever position they put me at to go out here and make plays, I'm going to do it the best of my ability.
How much fun is it to play with Jaden?
Huh?
How much fun is it to play with Jaden?
It's real fun. It's real fun.
What do you think of the offense now that you guys are really getting into it and kind of what your role will look like?
The offense is fun. Cliff do a great job with calling plays, putting guys in position to make plays.
Deebo, how do you feel going against the defense, like seeing the looks every day? The pads were on today, so it's a little bit more physicality, more real football. How's it going against that defense every day in practice?
It's really good. They do a really good job of mixing up looks, playing fast on both sides of the ball, and the ultimate goal is to make each other better every day.
In the receiver room, you're kind of the veteran. How are you kind of mentoring those other wide receivers and what to do, how the NFL looks, what the expectations, stuff like that?
The rookies we got, I think they're a little ahead of the game by how smart they is and how understanding they is of the offense. But I'm really not a rah-rah type of guy. I'm really a guy, if they come to me and ask questions, I give them the game. But I think they're a little ahead of the curve right now.
Hey, Deebo, good morning. Last year, the illness that you had in the middle of the season, how much did that affect you in your game? And, when did you start to feel like yourself again, really?
What you talking about, pneumonia? Brother, the pneumonia story was crazy. I woke up, I was sleeping one night and woke up at probably 2, 3 in the morning and couldn't stop coughing, but I never had pneumonia and never knew what it was. So I wake up in the morning, get ready for the game. I called my IV lady to come do some breathing treatment and get an IV because I just thought I was dehydrated or just needed some sugar or something along those lines. And going out there to pregame warm up, I just couldn't breathe, literally couldn't breathe, couldn't move. So I went in the training room, got another IV. I just thought something was just wrong. And then probably 4 or 5 plays in the game, I feel like if I would have won another play, I probably would have crashed. So I was just hey, coach, something ain't right. We got to see what's going on. And I go to the hospital and my whole chest is flamed up. So I was in the hospital probably 3, 4 days and got out. And me, the competitor I am, I just, put myself in a position to be in the best shape possible and just go out there and contribute to the team.
But I would imagine that kind of thing, it's in your it stays with you.
Nah, for sure. Yeah.
Did you feel like you were only back to yourself after the year ended?
Kind of probably towards the end, where I kind of got my breathing back and felt normal. Coming off of pneumonia, it's just it's kind of hard to breathe, so it's kind of hard to build that capacity back up. But towards the end of the year, I felt fine.
Being here, it's a new team, like he was saying. It's a contract year for you. Do you feel like this is a pretty significant season in your career and the way your future is going to be able to be shaped?
Yeah, for sure. But I just take it day by day and just let the cards play itself.
I guess the training camp doesn't really start till the pads come on, and kind of what was today like?
Today was smooth. I don't know. Outside the box, I don't think it was too much noise, but inside the box, I heard a little thud here and there. But it's good to get the pads on for sure.
Deebo, how do you expect this offense to be able to take advantage of your versatility and the various things you can do on the field?
I think Cliff is going to do a good job in putting me in position to make plays and just go out there and get it done.
Sorry if you've already been asked this, but just generally, how does it feel just to be back out here and being in front of fans and just to get things going?
Yesterday, I was pulling up, and I seen how many fans was out there. I was like, bro, I thought I was about to get ready to play a game. But the fans out here is crazy. It's good to be out here in front of fans. I know it's good for them to come and watch practice and see the things that we do day in and day out, and just come out here and give them what they're looking for.
And just building that rapport with Jaden, is that something you've noticed has been pretty instant? Is this something that you guys put in extra effort to just to build that chemistry?
We just, we take it day by day. After practice, we get reps here and there. But, just building day by day and just trying to get the best we can.
Last one. Thanks, Nikki. One of the things that Dan has talked about is your energy on the field. How do you feel like you provide that energy? Is you just a natural person? How do you provide that?
It's just me, man. I just go out there and be myself. Don't try to do more than what I'm expected to do. I'm really just a high energy guy and just love the game.
John Keim, ESPN. So I'm just curious for your early impressions of training camp. What are some things that maybe have jumped out to you about what you're adapting to even?
I feel like just trying to get comfortable early, and understanding the defense, getting to know my players, getting to know my coaches, and, just trusting them and trying to gain respect. I feel like that's the type of mindset I've been having day by day and just earning respect each and every day I'm on the field and off the field.
Just in terms of like being on the field, is there anything that you're adapting to, whether it's play speed, whether it's strength of receivers, anything like that?
I feel like it's just everything that comes to football, You just got to go over there and do your job at the end of the day and just be yourself. I feel like everything will, fall into place after that.
What you've been able to show so far?
Say it again?
What do you feel you've been able to show so far out there?
I've been showing, my man coverage, my techniques, just going out there and just competing, being physical at the breaking point, just being a person that can just, show up anywhere and just do their job and be accountable.
Trey, can you speak on talking with Marshawn, a veteran in this league? How has he helped you? How has he kind of mentored you, guided you on this journey coming in the league as a rookie?
Yeah, with Sean, he gave me a lot of great pointers, throughout his career. Talked to him, just learning every, aspect of the game. And, I appreciate, being in the room with those guys, each and every one of them, because I feel like we're all building a great bond as a whole. And, just keep on building that chemistry. And I feel like we're going to have a, great DB room. And just everybody wanted to compete for one another during training camp.
How comfortable are you with Coach Witt? Has he explained to you what his expectations of his standards are for you, so you're kind of able to hone in on what he exactly wants you to do? How's that relationship been with Coach Witt?
It's just don't let nobody catch the ball on you. That's the main thing. And I'm just trying to do my job and the best of my ability at all times. And sometimes they might catch a ball on you. Just know that they have to earn it, going against me. And, you just got to keep on playing, keep on chopping, regardless.
Hi, Trey. What are some things that you've learned about yourself this offseason? And are there any different approaches to the game this season?
I feel like for me, approaching the game, I take it so serious, just trying to stay focused for as long as possible so I can, get where I need to go. So I feel like, routine-wise, coming in early, talking to the new coach, not the new coaches, but the coaches, just asking questions, just so that it can, can be second nature.
I'm sure it's a total whirlwind from being drafted to now you've got the pads on. So kind of how's it been today? I guess training camp doesn't really start till the pads come on. So how was today?
It was great. It was great to have the pads on, getting off of blocks, using our shoulders a little bit. Never had that in a while. So everything's been great. Sure.
The transitioning technique-wise from college to now, anything that you thought coming in technique-wise you would change off or press, and then if anything that now that you've been here that you're trying to slow down, work on, speed up?
I feel like, there's little tweaks in the NFL and from college. You just got to trust your coach, and that's what I've been doing and trying to maximize, my skill set each and every day. So pretty much you just got to go over there with a great mindset and, and try to learn that technique that the coaches want you to do. And I feel like they wouldn't put you in the worst position if you just listen, you know.
As a rookie, could you talk a little bit about what it's like to join a team with sort of growing expectations and your sense of the expectations of this team from the time you've been here?
The expectations for right now, for training camp, just go out there, compete, get better each and every day. Just trying to maximize everything. Building chemistry, just being with your teammates each and every day. Sometimes it be hard, but like you're doing the hard stuff with great people. That's what I heard. So I'm loving it for sure.
Thank you, Trey.
No problem. Thank y'all.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Looking back from yesterday, it was really cool to have the fans here, and for that first practice, I heard them, felt their support, for sure. So that was a blast. We'll begin padded practices today, and you get a certain amount of them through the rest of training camp, and then the same thing in season. But it's an important process for the line of scrimmages because the techniques are adjusted some with pads, where without more hands out to here, and now you use your shoulder pads. So that's the real difference between one to the other. It's not a live tackling or live scrimmage, but the techniques do get adjusted, and it's an important part of playing those positions. So that begins today. So all that said, get rocking with you guys.
Deebo, what have you seen from Deebo so far?
One of the things I found out about him was I knew the competitor and that, how much fun he is to coach. He really is. And that part, you feel his energy on the field. We've moved him around into some different locations already. Been back on kickoff return as well. So trying to find and learn him, John, as it goes through this month process. We did it in the OTAs, different locations, different spots, different plays. But that's the secret sauce of it is, for years you've seen him on a deep cross and catch and run because of the speed that he can really go. But with returning and that side of things too, there's just more chances to see what he can do, and so it's off to a good start.
What's the fun part? What are some examples of that?
Yeah, just the energy that he brings to meetings, to practice. He's thoughtful. He wants to ask questions. What if we did it like this? So he challenges you in a good way and makes you think. So he's been really, really fun to coach. He loves football. You can feel it. Good morning.
I'm not sure if this is on. Hey, good morning. So with today being the first day of pads on practice, kind of what are you going to be kind of locked in on and looking for?
More of the line of scrimmage work. We're going to do some more red zone things, but all the padded practices, you really want to emphasize some things. So that could be, first and second downs, team run and play pass, team run, and so you're just getting that the run game, to get that going, that takes a lot of work. It's the combinations, the skill, and like I said, the techniques are adjusted. So that's where my eyes are today. We also have, we're back into kickoff and kickoff return. So seeing some of these guys in space make these blocks, like I said, with pads on, you can get a little more contact and work it. So those are probably the two things, the team run periods and the kickoff and kickoff return. Those two spots are where my emphasis will look towards today.
Hey, good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Speaking of that run game emphasis with the running backs specifically, how does kind of what you want to see from them change today?
The real test would come, honestly, in the preseason games, but it matters here because the thudding of the contact to go. So the way that we practice with pads, talking specifically to a running back or any ball carrier, for the contact and the thud to happen, you see them, they see you. We're not looking to hit somebody from the side where they go lateral. So that's where we want to see, can you make people miss in space? Can you lower your shoulder and, see that contact and that yards after the contact? So those are some of the things at the running back spot. But it definitely helps on the evaluation piece for the line of scrimmage and the running backs to have padded practices.
And then I know we're still pretty early in the process, but just kind of your overall thoughts on Trey Amos and his performance in his first training camp so far.
The thing I like about Trey's game, and I've seen it with some of the other corners, patience at the line of scrimmage when you're down on the receiver. So many times you can get antsy and try to guess what their release is or a particular route. And so having patience at that position is critical, where you can stay connected and at the line of scrimmage. You have to trust the technique. And I think like Jason Simmons and him, you can feel that connection early practice, post-practice, the extra things. I saw it in the spring, but I just kind of see the ascending techniques as it's going. And that's what's fun about camp, this player against him, the next one. And so different guys are matched up in different ways.
Hey, Coach.
Good morning.
You just mentioned special teams. Looking at the guys that are returning, which guys have really probably jumped out in the early stages of that competition?
The speed I feel from Jeremy Reeves is another step added, and that's not so uncommon the season after an injury. You're rehabbing an ACL, and anybody who knows Revo, he was going to go all in for it. But there is, for the faster players, like that second year after that, it can even take it further. And we discussed that, and I have certainly felt that. I see it on the defensive snaps, because when you're a safety and you're breaking out of the middle of the field, it's an easy evaluation to see how much ground someone's covering. And so I do feel that from him. I'm excited to see Jordan McGee. He's somebody on the team side that I really feel like he's taking, steps to take through it. And then new players, how are they fitting into what we do? I'm watching guys like, tight ends of Cager and, Tyree, and how are they fitting in? What are they doing? So it's been a fun process so far.
And looking at the team as a whole, is it one area that has pretty much excelled at this stage a little bit more that's ahead of the other areas of this team?
Not yet. We're still going through the install portion. Like last week, it was such a red zone emphasis, and we actually have a little bit more of that today in our first day in pads. But there's not one that I see over another. Sometimes it's within a practice. The defense yesterday won, the fourth down competition. The offense came back to win the next piece. So those are the things that I see back and forth, and that's kind of what I see as like the double wins. Your best against my best, and if your best is always beating my best, that's not as good. So we do like to see it back and forth.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
What's unique about coaching in the Washington, D.C. region?
The fan base and the people. That's the fun part about coaching here. I had known from afar how this fan base, how important it was with the team, and then I really felt it as the season got going. And sometimes you can feel isolated, because you're home or work. And so to feel that connection start to take shape, the fan support of the players, and on the field, and like home field's a real thing. Like it is. And it may not be in some other sports, but you can create it. And so to see that begin to take shape, that's pretty exciting.
And you've developed some relationships with coaches in other sports. You had some of the Wizards coaching staff here in the spring. What do you gain from building those relationships and having those conversations across sports?
Whether it's dealing with a player, how to develop a player, it has nothing to do with any scheme or that. But I'm curious to find out, is there another way? Is there a different method to go to it? And I love learning. So I enjoy, visiting with coaches in other spots, and I gain a lot from those moments. And so whether it's, college basketball, pro ball, all of it matters to me. And so I enjoy spending time with coaches.
Hey, DQ. Whether it's Pop Warner, high school, the first day of pads is always there's something special about it. Can you expand on that? Like what is it about putting those pads on for the first time?
For sure, it's the essence of our game. It's physical, it's contact, and I'm glad that you brought up, from like youth football and high school ball, and it's also a responsibility to teach it right. How are you tackling? How are you making these contact? Because that's important. This game that we love, you can be tough as hell, and you can also, do it as best you can to do it safely. And that's the responsibility of the players to one another, their love for one another, but it's also our responsibility. Let's teach it right. We want our team and our identity to be tough as hell. But for us to do that, you've got to take care of one another and do it correctly. But there is a lot of fun that goes into this day. There'll be more energy that you'll hear, and Then it gets normal again, after a few days, because we'll do this, for over the next 6 months, quite a few times. But on the first day, it is part of the essence of the game.
You spoke very highly of Deron Payne during OTAs and minicamp. How's that carried over to training camp? And being a guy that's been on that line since 2018, been with this team since 2018, how as a coach do you lean on him?
I can't speak to the past, but man, I have had so much fun coaching Deron this spring and in training camp. He is on it. And it's nice to see, connection him and Kinlaw and Wise and, Martin and now Miller and others that are new to the team and their fight, their battle, how we're using guys. Deron, he is right at the front of it. I like that he is, he doesn't have to say it, he's just doing it. And I really respect that.
Hey, Dan, good morning.
Good morning.
Just on Terry to check in, do you have any more clarity on his ankle situation today? And do you have any more optimism on the business side that we're any closer getting something done?
For us, no change. I can say, when you do the assessment on what begins on PUP, so for he and for Sam, they'll begin, the day doing the rehab portion. Some days that'll include running. Some days it'll, be more of strength and rehab portions. Then in the afternoon, it's kind of normal business. They go through meetings, they can watch the walkthrough but can't participate. So we just have this process that we'll go through with both of them, and we won't miss it. But both of them are real pros, and they'll put the work in. So no timeline on that. And I certainly, as we're sitting here today, we're still building on that.
To follow up on Deebo, beyond his just production, what do you think he can bring to a team and an offense from a physicality standpoint, mentality, identity, that kind of thing?
Yeah. There's certain plays, breaking a tackle, getting the extra first down. It's interesting. Sometimes there can be a pass or a run for that instance is it 2nd and 1 or is it first down? It's that close. I'm talking about a third down conversion. I'm talking about another first down, And I feel that with him, the finishing of the play. And that's a real trait, whether it's a run play, a pass play, there's a finishing element to his game that I really, really admire.
Morning, Dan.
Morning, Dave.
Do you anticipate Connerly and Wiley getting run with the ones through a couple of preseason games?
Yes. And as we're going, we haven't hit with the guys yet, but we do recognize the work that guys need and how we go. There's all sorts of good matchups. The other one that helps is the practices. When you go against another team, not just there's advantages from the coaching side. Okay, we like that scheme. Hey, would you blitz more? And most of the time, the coaches, hey, do this, do that. We work together to help, test who we need to test. So I like that we're adding the practices, Dave. It's good for any player. It's especially good for the new player.
This is an odd question, but what was your conversation like with Ventral Cypress the other day? Cypress. What was the conversation like?
Going into, you're talking about from an injury standpoint?
Yeah.
The first things that, there's going to be football ahead for him. And as part of the games go, and Adam visited with him. They had a good conversation about, what's next and how do you come back. But I can comment on what I saw. And through the OTAs, through the start of it, this is a person that has the ability to play two spots as a DB. And anytime you can do that, that adds a lot of value to who you can do. And so sometimes you have to show enough to say, okay, we want to, continue that, and he's that type of player.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Adam Epstein, 910 The Fan. Given the news yesterday with Terry in the building, is this the wide receiver room that you envision as a championship caliber wide receiver room?
Yeah, Adam, welcome, man. I honestly, man, we just want to really hit to our standards. We do like this room a lot. But as far as, where we're headed, we just kind of put it into small spaces and we're putting guys in different spots and what they can do. It's been good to see in this already 4-day blocks, like Lane has jumped out to me. Okay, you're finding out certain routes by certain players really matter. And so Zach's kind of one of the great examples of that, where he's so crafty to get open. These are the routes that him and Jaden have this connection just like that. That happens in these times, okay, that route, let's feature him again. That route, let's feature him again. So the connection between quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends, depths, timing, their speeds, this is where it goes down. And out on the field is where that happens. So, we're excited, man, about the group, what they're adding. It's a pretty deep crew, like coming back to see in the off season, KJ Osborne and like the speed. He didn't need that time when he got dropped in towards the end of the season. And how do we fit him? Like, it feels different going through an entire off season program with somebody. So there's a lot of advantages for that. All right. You guys have a good one.